Rice right alongside Michael Chilton, Joe Janowski in 2. John Whitney Jr., Ethan Burgess in 3. He'll be followed by Jason Jameson, Dustin Nobby, Jesse James Lay, Dwayne Chamberlain, Scott James, Ted Nobby, James Rice, Trevor Landrum, Bill Blair Jr., Alan Magner, Robbie Hensley, Austin Mills, Cody Evans, Bill Sheets, Daniel Dial, Steve Landrum, Mike Hildebrand, and Mike Myers. 40 laps the distance. $3,000 going out to the winner, and the wild thing, Greg Johnson, to get him to the green flag, side by side, nose to tail, into the start box, green flag in the air. Greg Johnson drops the hammer, slides high on the track. Josh Rice back to the inside. Rice down low, Johnson up the racetrack. Josh Rice will lead lap number 1. Greg Johnson in the number 2 spot will be followed by Michael Chilton, Joe Janowski in the 16V. And then it's going to be the car number 2 of John Whitney Jr. Greg Johnson back to the lead down the back straightaway. Josh Rice sliding into the number 2 spot. Chilton putting the pressure on Rice. Looked like a good battle shaping up off turn number 2. Rice will get a couple of car lengths down the back straightaway and carry those through 3 and 4 and back down the front straightaway. Again, Johnson a little high exiting turn number 2, but Rice unable to close the gap. About a 2-car length lead for the wild thing, Greg Johnson. Janowski continues to run in 4th. John Whitney Jr. in 5th. Yellow flag coming out, a couple of cars tangled up down in turns 1 and 2. Green flag in the air. Josh Rice, number 2 man. Michael Chilton runs in 3rd. Joe Janowski in 4th. John Whitney Jr. in 5th, and a pass for the number 2 spot. Michael Chilton works the high side. Josh Rice on the bottom. Side by side through 3 and 4 for the number 2 spot. Give it to Michael Chilton at the line. The Wild Child trying to run down the wild thing here at Florence Speedway. Josh Rice continues to battle back. He'll now ease back into the number 3 spot. Jason Jameson 1 spot out of the top 5. And now here we go. The battle for the number 2 spot. Josh Rice back to the inside of Chilton. And John Whitney Jr. took a look to the inside of Janowski as they headed down into turn 1 and 2. Chilton going to hold on to the number 2 spot. Janowski holds on to 4th, but the battle picking up at the back of the top 5. Right there is again Whitney dives to the inside of Janowski. Yellow flag coming out once again. Josh Rice once again taking a quick look to the inside of Chilton, but unable to pull the trigger. He's back into the number 3 spot. John Whitney Jr. runs in 4th. Janowski. He'll be followed by Jason Jameson, Dwayne Chamberlain, Jesse James Lay, the car number 33. Then it's going to be the 11 of James Rice, Bill Blair Jr., Robbie Hensley, Dustin Nobby, Alan Magner. They got the 99 of Bill Sheets. From the front to the back, continues to be the wild thing up in front. 13 laps down, 27 more to go. And now Johnson beginning to get some real estate between himself and the second place running Michael Chilton. About half a straightaway, we've got a spin over in turn number 2. File on the restart. Greg Johnson to get him back to the green. Johnson, your leader. Chilton in second will be followed by Josh Rice, John Whitney Jr., and the 16 of Joe Janowski. Couple of cars out of the top 5, but trying to advance. Jason Jameson continues to occupy that number 6 spot. Dwayne Chamberlain runs in 7th. James Lay in 8th. James Rice in 9th. And Bill Blair Jr. going to round out the top 10. Halfway this time by 20 laps down, 20 to go. Your leader continues to be the car number 88 of Greg Johnson. He'll be followed by Michael Chilton, Josh Rice, John Whitney Jr., Joe Janowski, Jason Jameson, Dwayne Chamberlain, Jesse James Lay, James Rice, Bill Blair Jr., Robbie Hensley, Alan Magner. Dusty goes to work beginning to put cars a lap down, but the traffic fairly heavy in front of him, and he can get about 3 or 4 of them easily. Then he's going to get into some real heavy traffic. And again, Michael Chilton tries to close up. He'll get within 3 car lengths of your leader down the back straightaway. Josh Rice about 3 car lengths back in the number 3 spot. Chilton now within a car length down in 3 and 4. Trying to close up as your leader works on the 39 machine of Mike Hildebrand. Hildebrand about halfway up the racetrack. He'll get up and out of the way as your leader goes by, and they continue on. Chilton going to dive in there and put Hildebrand a lap down, and Hildebrand really squeezing Chilton to the bottom of the racetrack. Chilton will continue on, but down about 3 car lengths now back to the number 2 spot. John Whitney Jr. running in 4th, about 2 car lengths off the back bumper of Josh Rice in that 11 machine. And then about 6-7 car lengths back to the 5th place running Joe Janowski. Jason Jameson continues to harass him, but cannot get the pass, trying to get into the top 5. As Hildebrand now goes a lap down the Rice, and Rice way up the racetrack. John Whitney will close all the way to the quarter panel. Hanging on to the number 4 spot, but that battle closed up very quickly. Michael Chilton now putting the pressure on Greg Johnson at the front of this field, as Johnson having a bit of an issue with the 4G machine of Cody Evans, trying to get him a lap down, but everybody down in the bottom lane. The battle for the bottom continues as they take the short way around Florence Speedway here tonight. Chilton looking a little high now. Evans slides up the track. Johnson through to the lead. And while Chilton has to go to the binders and check up off the high side of the 97, Josh Rice will close a bit. 29 laps down, 11 more to go. Greg Johnson continues to show the way. Mike Meyer in the car number 10, the next man to go a lap down. A little up the racetrack, and he stays low as he comes off turn number 2. And again, Greg Johnson has to check up, and here comes Michael Chilton once again. Race to the inside of Chilton as they battle for the number 2 spot. Johnson will clear the car number 10 of Mike Meyer. The battle really heating up for the number 2 spot as Rice worked down to the inside of Chilton again, back into line in 3rd, and again getting pressure from the back. That is going to be the 2 car of John Whitney Jr. Ted Nobby has gone around off 4. 9 laps to go. It's time to show him if you got it. Chilton in 2nd, Rice in 3rd. Here we go. Green flag in the air. 9 to go. Chilton on the back bumper as they roll into 1 and 2. And now Jameson making his move on Janowski. battle for the number 5 spot. Jason Jameson on the bottom. Janowski a little up the racetrack, a little bit of contact down in 3 and 4. Janowski going to hold on to that position. Battle continues for the number 5 spot. The 4 in front of him beginning to space it out just a little bit. And a spin. 2 spin. Mike Meyer slows on the racetrack and looks like the hood is up and blown up over the front of that car. Number 10. Very good battle with Jason Jameson as they battle for that number 5 spot. 8 more laps to go. Green flag flies. Chilton takes a look. There's contact. Chilton into the berm. Chilton goes around. Yellow flag coming out. And Michael Chilton forcing the issue to the low side. Contact into the berm and around he goes. And Michael Chilton will ease back in at the end of the lead lap cars. It'll put him behind Ted Navi. He's a long way from where he was less than a lap ago. We're still on lap number 32. And Greg Johnson continues to show the way in the Pickers Paradise Club 29 Ford Fusion. The Bedford, Indiana driver has led them all, and now it's Josh Rice to move up to the number 2 spot with 8 laps to go. John Whitney Jr. to 3rd, Joe Janowski to 4th, Jason Jameson now in the number 5 spot. Chamberlain, Lay, Rice, Blair, and Hensley going to round out the top 10. Here we go. 8 more laps to go. Does Josh Rice have anything for Greg Johnson? We're about to find out. Green flag in the air once again. Rice on the bottom. Spoke to Josh earlier, said they were up all night rebuilding this race car, getting it ready to come to Florence Speedway. A strong run here tonight has him in second as he tries to run down Greg Johnson. And Johnson beginning to pull away. 4 car lengths now, maybe 5 down the back straightaway. Whitney trying to close on Rice. A little bit of a bump down there at the bottom of turn number 4. Upset the car just a bit for Whitney. He has to check up as he had a bit of a run on Rice. Rolling down into 3 and 4. Now he's about 2 car lengths back. Make it 3 as they roll up off of turn number 2 and down the back straightaway. Janowski and Jameson, 4th and 5th. Austin Mills slow off turn number 2. Cars checking up behind him. I don't know if he's going to clear the racetrack. Rolling slowly down the back straightaway, waiting for him to turn left. He's not going to make it. 4 laps to go. Johnson turns left, hits the throttle. Green flag in the air. And Rice, not a great start. He lost a couple of lengths down the front straightaway. And quickly, John Whitney going to harass him from the backside. It's not going to do him any good. He does not make the pass. Down in 1 and 2, Whitney trying to mount a charge, trying to get to the number 2 spot. 3 to go. On to the back of the lead lap cars. 2 to go. Leader up and off of 4. White flag in the air. 1 to go. Your leader down the back straightaway. No challenge from behind. Rolling it through 3 and 4. The win will go to Greg Johnson.